So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a very important roadmap specifically for people who want to become AI builders, not just AI users, because most people think that they can earn a lot of money if they just know how to use AI. There is no competitive advantage in knowing how to use a tool like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. And I know that a lot of you might be coming from a non-technical background, but as I've said this again and again, that this entire world is going to be split into AI builders and AI operators. And you can be an AI operator, which is just like a smarter user, but if you somehow end up becoming a builder, or even if you know some basics of how to be a builder, you will always have a competitive advantage. So the biggest fear that most people have these days is that, oh Ansh, we are so freaked out about unemployment because of AI. You don't need to worry about unemployment. Let me tell you something which is even more risky to your career and to your income. The real risk to your entire career is actually being unemployable. There is a huge difference between being worried about AI giving rise to unemployment versus AI making you unemployable. What is the difference? People who blindly use AI will become unemployable. So jobs will be there. There's always going to be opportunities. The question is, would you want to be someone who is unemployable, or would you want to be someone who is actually employable by billion-dollar companies? And to be employable by maximum amount of people, you can move towards a section of people who are building with AI. And let me tell you why this is the best time. If I were to learn Python and just Python or Java, there are people who have 15 plus years of experience. But if I learn how to use ChatGPT LLMs to build a chatbot, the technology itself has started today. So if I learn the same thing, after 5 years, I will be the only person with 5 years of experience. Do you get this? You pick any other field that has existed for a very long time, you will always be behind people who started 10 years ago. But because this building stuff, all of these things are happening now, after 5 years, you can be the only person with 5 years of experience. So what we've done is we've made a list of resources, free resources, paid resources, certifications, and reports, proper reports in the field of engineering, in the field of design, everything. We've curated like a proper list, and we have listed out how long are they, who are they for, and what will you learn. And for those of you who are professionals and who want to invest in themselves, we will also be talking about professional certifications by Simplilearn as well, who are also the sponsors of this video. But I won't be recommending their courses just because they've sponsored us, because we have handpicked courses that have actually received a good rating. So with that context being set, let's move ahead with this entire list. Now I'm going to go in the order of some really valuable resources. The first resource is ChatGPT Prompt Engineering. And we've spoken about this again and again, that prompt engineering is more about context engineering. But this course on deeplearning.ai actually explains you what are LLMs, which are large language models, what are the best practices for doing your prompt engineering. You'll also understand how Python is used, and you will require a basic understanding of how Python works. So this is primarily targeted towards technical people, engineers who are doing CSE. But even if you're a non-technical person, you can still learn from some of the modules. The most important takeaway that you will get from this is that you will end up building your own custom chatbot, which is a very good level 1 project. So the course is 1.5 hour long. It has 9 video lessons and 7 coding examples that will actually give you a very good look. And the most beneficial part is that the instructors are from OpenAI. So you'll actually hear from the people who are working at OpenAI. Now, we've always given resources by OpenAI, but even Microsoft is doing a lot to help people learn. So the second resource is the Microsoft Copilot Studio Academy. Completely free for both technical and non-technical people. And it progresses with ranks. So basically, they have a recruit rank, which is available right now. then they have operative, then they have commander, basically how you learn and how you evolve. Moving forward, even Copilot is going to help people build their own agents using Copilot. So these are going to be proper agents that are running on Copilot. And if you're someone who wants to enter the Copilot niche, because there are a lot of companies who have the M365 subscription, so they are very loyal towards Microsoft. If you work in an organization that is already very comfortable with Microsoft tools, then this academy can be really beneficial for you. The third free course is Building Systems with ChatGPT API. This is again from deeplearning.ai, and it teaches you how to use the ChatGPT APIs for building something useful. So again, it is suitable for people with some basic understanding of Python. And if you do not know even Python, my team will be sharing additional resources to learn Python from scratch. And folks, please understand that most people think that, oh, Ansh is telling me to learn how to code in Python. But no, I don't want you to become a great coder. I actually want you to become a great programmer. There's a difference between coding and programming. Coding is all about understanding syntax and writing code. But programming is systems thinking, it's logical thinking. You have to understand what a certain problem needs, and it will actually improve your brain and the way you look at problems. Now, all the three resources that I've shown you right now, they are all self-paced, and there is no mentor, and there is no proper certification process. And if you're someone who genuinely wants live learning, live mentorship, and don't want to go through the entire self-paced route, on number 4, we have the professional certificate program in GenAI and machine learning delivered by Simplilearn in collaboration with E&ICT Academy, IIT Guwahati. Now, Simplilearn has been one of our sponsors for a very long time, and it's primarily because I truly feel that they're doing good work when it comes to providing good certification programs. Now, this program is live, and it has been designed to give you a very real-world understanding of some really important tools. So whether it's ML, GenAI from a foundational perspective, they take you through ChatGPT, Hugging Face, the ChatGPT image model, and a lot more. And the problem with a lot of the previous courses that I mentioned is that they only focus on the softwares that they own. So Microsoft will teach you Microsoft tools. A course by OpenAI's team will only give you exposure to OpenAI tools. But in these certifications, you actually get 25 plus practical tools. You also build 3 capstone projects, and you also have interactive masterclasses by IIT Guwahati faculty plus IBM experts. So I know that there would be a lot of students saying that, Ansh, if we still don't want to explore something in the paid category because we're not ready yet, or maybe we don't want to invest something in it, then I get your point. But for those of you who are professionals, who've had experience and who really, really want to take their learning to the next level, a live course is always better. But for beginner students who do not have any budget, on number 5, we have the OpenAI Academy. Now, we are also the instructors at the OpenAI Academy, and the beauty of this is that it is completely beginner friendly. It is also available in Hindi. It is completely free. And they regularly talk about meetups. In fact, even today, as we are recording this video, I've just gotten back from an event by OpenAI in New Delhi. It was their first India Education Summit. In fact, I also got a chance to hear from Anand sir from Super 30. So they've launched ChatGPT Go at 399 rupees, which is a huge thing. Now let's talk about Google. Google has released a course specifically titled GenAI for educators. And there's a proper website that Google has announced for free. It's called grow.google. And the beauty of this is that this is specifically focused on teachers. So they will help you how you can save time on everyday tasks. So this can either be personalizing your syllabus, enhancing your lessons. It could also be coming up with better activities to teach your students with examples. It's beginner friendly, and it is a 2-hour long course. So if you're someone who wants to enter EdTech or who is a teacher, then this course by Google is a pretty good recommendation. On number 7, we have a course by NVIDIA themselves, completely available for free. This is on building RAG agents. Now, what is RAG? To explain it in a very simple way, let's assume that this layer of intelligence is the default layer of intelligence given by OpenAI. But I want to build a chatbot which specifically understands my own context, my own company's information, my own priorities. So a RAG model essentially adds one more layer on top of the default layer. This is an additional layer, and this entire architecture is called a RAG. And a fancier way of adding is augmenting. In fact, augmenting is the new buzzword. The WEF report also said that most businesses are not focusing on automation, they are focusing on augmentation. And even here, people who understand how to build RAG models are a very priced pool. Like, people really want to build their own RAG models, and most people don't even know that they want a RAG model. They just keep asking that, can I have my own custom chatbot? Would it remember my context? So this NVIDIA course is 8 hours long. It is 8 hours long worth of content, completely available for free. And you still need the basics of Python. You still need to know the basics of deep learning. But as I told you folks, at this point, there is literally no subject which is unknown for you. Now, the thing is that all of these courses that I gave you again for free, they are still very focused on a narrow-based approach. They will only promote their tools and their architectures. On number 8, we have professional course in GenAI and machine learning delivered by Simplilearn in collaboration with E&ICT Academy, IIT Kanpur. Now, this is again a longer program. This is going to be an 11-month long program where you'll get interactive live virtual masterclasses led by IIT Kanpur faculty. And in terms of syllabus, if you are someone who knows nothing about Python, nothing about ML, and you're a complete beginner in this field, then they will take 11 months with you and they will teach you Python, all the important ML algorithms, and data analysis. They will also explain you the foundations of GenAI, large language models, prompt engineering, and ChatGPT. They will also take you through the most important deep learning frameworks like TensorFlow and Keras. And just like the previous certification, you will get to work on more than 50 plus industry projects. Now, this one is specifically designed for professionals who want more depth into, say, Python or deep learning frameworks. On number 9, we have IIT Madras Pravartak Technology Foundation, which has again collaborated with Simplilearn. And this is a shorter course. This is going to be 4-month long with 70 plus hours of deep learning. And again here, the masterclasses were led by IIT faculty and alumni from across the top IITs. And you will have access to more than 60 plus exercises along with 7 industry projects. Now, if you feel confused about all of these certifications, all the details are in description. In fact, we have partnered with Simplilearn to give you some really valuable paid courses. So all of the paid resources that you see are going to be by Simplilearn. But we are very proud to talk about Simplilearn because we've seen the ratings, we've seen the reviews by other students. This one project also helps you become eligible for a 2-day campus experience as well. So they have a campus immersion program at IIT Madras Research Park. And you will also get additional certifications from Microsoft through their integrated Azure models. Now, please note that when you complete the IIT Madras model, you will also get a program certificate from IIT Madras Pravartak Technologies Foundation within 90 days of the program completion. Now, let's just say that you have become very excited about AI agents. So the next resource is completely free. And on number 10, we have OpenAI Guide to Building AI Agents. Now, this guide provides a very step-by-step approach on how you can build LLM-powered agents. And it is mostly targeted towards product and engineering teams. So it will actually help you understand what are the AI frameworks that you need to use, how do you apply guardrails for safety, and if you're someone who's genuinely interested or curious about the entire agentic force, this is a good starting point because their documentation is very solid. Now, remember I told you there was this one resource, the grow.google resource? On the same website, They have released multiple free courses. These are short courses, but still very good for a beginner who's just starting out. One is called AI Essentials. The other is called Prompting Essentials. This is called Intro to GenAI. And the fourth one is a course on Gemini. Now, all of these courses are short, they're all pre recorded, but in general, they can give you a very good insight into what specifically Google is doing. And folks, remember what I told you. You might think that, oh, just because this is free, it might not be useful. It is useful because Google wants you to become a fan of Gemini. OpenAI wants you to become a fan of OpenAI products. In fact, these are not the only two AI companies who are doing this. Because on number 12, we also have the Anthropic Academy. Anthropic is the one that have made Claude. How many of you have used Claude before? And they have released a super long list of courses. So they have actually created AI fluency programs, just like Google, for educators and for students. They have also explained API fundamentals of Anthropic. So if you're someone who's confused about APIs, it's a great place to start. They have also have multiple lists of prompting courses. They have also explained how you can cover ethics. So in general, Anthropic has launched a very, very massive library of courses that you can actually use to upskill yourself for free. Now I know what you're thinking, that Ansh, you've given us so many resources. We don't have the time to do this. When we get doubts, then what do we do? See, step number one is you have to start small and you have to prioritize what is the most relevant thing for you. So you have to ask yourself that if I have 50 different resources, go through all of them, figure out which one would be the most relevant for you if you're starting out. And then use an AI tool like ChatGPT to help you understand anything which is complicated. In fact, they've launched a study and learn mode. Even Gemini has a built-in study and learn mode. So at this point, there is very little that is holding you back to learn. So you need to start small and set a priority. And the most important thing is that you need to keep a deadline. Don't start learning anything unless you've set a proper timeline for reaching the finish line. Third is that document all of your notes on a tool like Notion. Otherwise, you are bound to forget. Fourth is learn in public. Whatever you are learning, talk about it. And whenever you learn, use the waterfall model. What is the waterfall model? You make a LinkedIn post, you make an X Twitter thread out of it, and then the same thing becomes an IG carousel. And the IG carousel can also be shared on LinkedIn. And if you're someone who's on Instagram, make an Instagram reel about it. If you follow this entire framework for the next 100 days, you will essentially change your life because you will learn, you will document, you will write, you will show other people that you're learning in public. And because you'd be doing this for the next 100 days, you will see a massive change in the way you think. On number 13, we have Hugging Face. It is a huge arena where people can test models before anybody else. So this Hugging Face LLM course will teach you large language models and NLP using Hugging Face libraries. And again, this is completely for free. You don't have to pay for it. And if you're someone who wants to understand transformers, it's a great resource to begin with. So the problem is that most people think that if I learn skills, I will have a great opportunity and I will start making money, as if skills is the moat. But it's not. Just knowing how to build things is great, but knowing what to build and why to build that specific thing is even more valuable. And for that, I have a bunch of important reports that might be relevant for you and the folks in your industry. But I'm also going to give you a framework to make sense of these reports. So whatever report I give you, you need to take that report PDF and upload it into Notebook LM. And I will put a quick tutorial here so that you can understand. Once you go to Notebook LM, you need to click on the mind map feature and then shortlist the most important 10 to 15 pointers that you think are relevant to you. And then just keep them in your mind while you're reading the report, because that will help you find the signal from the noise. So the first report is AI in 2027. It's a brilliant resource and it basically has some predictions of what will happen to agents, how will it affect geopolitical circumstances, what are the alignment and misalignment risks, which means that what if AI has different goals and aspirations than us? And it has some very interesting pointers. For example, this report says that by March 2027, OpenAI could be running 2 lakh superhuman AI coders in parallel, all thinking 30 times faster than any human could ever have. OpenBrain would now be equivalent of 1.5 million software engineers. And it would take around 2-3 hours to read this entire report, but it's highly recommended for anyone who is a pure AI enthusiast. I know that my handwriting is really bad, but I hope that whatever I'm speaking will make sense to you. We will also put screen recordings. The next report is the AI engineering report. And this report says, and by the way, this is highly recommended for engineers who are building something in the field of AI. It says that 70% people are interested or using RAG in some shape or form. Audio is poised for a major adoption, and it makes complete sense, right? Because eventually AI will become so invisible that you won't be typing into it, you'll be speaking into it. The majority of agents will have write access, typically with a human in loop. So they also make you understand this very valuable concept of human in loop, where it is not replacing a human being, but it is keeping a human in loop so that a smart human can validate and authenticate if the AI is moving in the right direction. On number 16, we have state of AI in design. 100% recommended for people who are in the field of design. And it says that in many cases, instead of replacing designers, it will actually increase the speed at which we do brainstorming. It will enhance prototyping, just like how Figma Make has done. By the way, we've already released a free course on Figma Make. It also talks about the fact that if you're an individual contributor or a founder or a manager, how do you need to think about the next 1 year? And the real advantage in any AI tool is actually not going to be a model, because everyone will have pretty good models. All products moving forward will focus on the interface and the UX. And great design makes intelligence accessible to anyone. So if you become a strong UX designer who knows how to prototype, who knows how to bring people together, who knows the basics of AI building, you will become highly employable for the next billion-dollar AI companies. On number 17, we have a resource that talks about SLM. Now, I know a lot of you would have heard about LLMs, but this report talks about how SLMs are the future of agentic AI. The reason why people like SLMs is because it has low latency, which means it takes lesser time to get back to you with an accurate response. It requires less computational power and less memory in general, which eventually goes to lowered operational costs. So if everyone will eventually have an AI agent in their house, instead of having them run on large language models, they will actually end up using them on small language models. And there's a very important quote that used to float around in the market, that better data is better than better algorithms. Something around those lines. That better data beats better algorithms. So if you have clean labeled data, you can actually end up running like an SLM on lower computational costs and lower operational costs. And it's like just 17 pages long. It'll take maximum an hour to read. But the most interesting part here is that an SLM, if designed well, can actually be 10 times cheaper than creating an LLM. So students, these are some extremely important reports that you can actually put into Notebook LM and make sense of them. In fact, if you liked any of these resources, tell me in the comment section which ones were your favorite. And students, somewhere I read this very interesting quote that the universe waited for 13.8 billion years. Let's take a second to just digest this number. 13.8 billion years it waited to give rise to this kind of an intelligence. Yet, most people are taking it lightly. So my recommendation to you would be to start learning as soon as you can, to not worry about AI giving rise to unemployment, but actually AI giving rise to you being unemployable. And just like we had discussed in our last video, that when sugar and fat became very accessible, we had an obesity crisis, there's a high chance that AI will eventually lead to intellectual obesity if all of us don't start learning, if all of us don't start using our brains. And I would recommend you to just think about the fact that in most cases, people who panic, they are the ones who are not really good at their jobs. AI is panicking those professionals who are really not good at what they do. And AI can replace you very quickly if you're just a normal person doing things side by side. But people who are professionals and people who are consistently learning, they are using AI as a catalyst. And now that I've given you like a big resource, a huge curation of resources, it is your responsibility to take the lead and move ahead. If you have watched this video till this point, I want you to let me know in the comment section that Ansh, I did make it to the end of the video, and tell me if this kind of a learning format works for you. My team will be sharing all of the resources in the description. The free ones, the paid ones, everything that we mentioned will be there in the description. And I hope you at least start your building journey and not just restrict yourself to being a user just because you come from a non-technical background. Because anybody can now learn the basics for free, and you already have a study and learn mode inside ChatGPT to help you clear all of your doubts one by one. With that being said, I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your instructor Ansh Mehra, and you are learning from the Cutting Edge School.